Okay, so I'm revisiting this electronics here. I got this around the wrong way. That's FS2 and FS1. I think I did that in another video, but that's because it's upside down, yeah. Um, these are pretty good. Oh yeah, and these things here on the other video, data, no, there's an A and a B, and I've marked them up on another diagram which I checked in. It's the A and the B quadrature. So now I've come to get some of the cables and parts. So I think what I'm going to do, this little one here, the female one, I think it fits in quite nicely here. Let me turn it round. So I think it just about goes in this little gap here, like either like that or like that, doesn't really matter. But I think it will fit quite nicely in that gap there. Sorry. Yeah. So I think this will probably go, you got, sorry, you got a rectangle side there. So it looks like what I got to do is to, where this cable run comes in, take a couple of these containers out, partitions rather, and make a rectangle to allow this inner bit to come through, and then the top will have this to glue onto and glue into place. Then the cable can run inside this space here, leave enough slack. Now, in terms of my particular color pattern, you see I'm pretty colorblind, so please don't take my word for it, but I think that's brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, one has a grey, white, black, and it repeats. So there are 10 colors on my cable. Yours may vary. Also, what they've done, we can just about see it on the left. It says 13 at the top, going to 1 at the top, and was that 24, 25? Isn't it? Just zoom in a bit. Sorry, 25 on the left and 14 on the right. So I've written it down here like this. This is the female, which is the one with the holes in it. This is the male with the spikes. So let's look at the pins here. The pin on the right says, the pin on the bottom by my thumb here says 25. So when I turn this around, it's going to be this one here. And I think what that means is it's yellow because it's the second one in. I think that. Yes, and let's see what I think it is. 25 is yellow, that's right. So what happens is when you look at these underneath is you've got the yellow. So the next one I go along the bottom won't be the orange, it will be the red. Then it won't be the brown. Let me get it closer so I can read it properly. I can't see colours a bit. It will be black, and then it will be grey, and then it will be blue, and then it repeats: yellow, red, black, grey, blue. So I think that's what I'm saying here. Yellow, red, black, grey, blue. Yellow, red, black, grey, blue. Yellow, red. And there's 12 of them, so it's 2 5s plus 2. Here, of course, is one more, so there's 5. Brown, orange, green, purple, white, brown, orange, green, purple, white, brown, orange, green. So there's a cycling going on. So I think the next step is to make a hole in this area here. Take the partitions out, go through. And then I've got to feed the cable through, because don't forget, I'm going to make the rectangle for the blue area underneath and use the glue to glue pushing down from the top. So once I put this in, I won't be able to take it out easily. If I mean, obviously I could wire it in situ and you know, wire the, I'm going to do it where I'd say like this pin goes FX1 to etc etc etc. I could do that. The disadvantage I see with that approach is I might want to leave some space to take it apart. Having said that, this is just an experiment. These things are quite cheap, so you know, the aim is to have a bit of fun, really. It's Zoom pedal fun. It's not Zoom pedal overthink it, yeah? Okay, in this thing here, in this diagram, you see I've marked up, okay, that's FS2, but I've marked up black, red. What I've done here, I've put a black next to where the negative is, yeah? So, again, this one was a bit tricky because he's red at the top with the blacks at the bottom, yeah? So I think that's the way that I'll stop myself making too many mistakes. Now what I think I need to do, I kind of want to put the wires directly from the 25 pin connector, but at the same time I think it might be easy to just use DuPont, but then I'm still not quite certain if I do that where I can put them. I can make the hole there. Now I think it's going to be easier to solder them directly, and let me start doing that. Okay, so I've cut some of the compartments of these little tin snips. They're quite sharp. Then you can get your pliers in and just twist it a little bit, and you see it starts to come loose. So I'm doing this with a viewfinder. So there. So that will allow me to get closer, and then I'll file off the edge with this file I've got. Let's just do that a bit more. And then I'll probably get a little drill to start going through. Yeah, so I'll probably get a little drill to start going through and try and get it a nice fit for the cable. Okay, so we've drilled some holes through the case coming this way, so now I need to just cut these out with a hacksaw or something like that, or anyway, I'll just widen it out so I can get the cable through. Okay, so we've widened this hole out. I don't think it has to be that neat because it's going to get covered by this connector if I choose it that way. I think that's the one. Just going to push it and pull. Yeah, so that fits through there, so it's going to go the other way. It's going to be tight because of the nature of it, but anyway, that's enough aperture the other way. So now I'm going to have to cut this wire, choose a good length and try and put it in. Let's do that. Okay, I've just measured this hole. It needs to be about the thickness of the file. If I put that like that, hopefully you can see the thickness of the file is pretty much that. So I got a little way to go, but at least I have something to aim for. So that's what I'm going to do, make that wider. Okay, so I've got it in now. I was having real problems. This is an old file I have. Actually, it was my wife's granddad's file, so I'm quite fond of it. It probably needs a good clean, but it couldn't go through very well. So I bought a set from Amazon, Draper tools. They're sort of generic set here, and they might be useful for nut filing. I don't know, who knows. But if I bought 2 or 3 files, it was almost the price of this, which is about £20, yeah. And this file is really good. So this file, I'm going to clean it off in a minute, but he made light work of this. Got through here, so we can get the bead in there. And let's just see actually for a second. Hang on, see if we can plug everything in. So it might be a tight fit that way. I mean, it goes in and out. Yeah, that's fine actually. That's fine. I can go after the other unit, or I might turn that round the other way. Let's try that. Hang on. Yeah, that works much better that way round. I just had to open one edge, so now it's further away from the pedal. Let me get it so we can see it. It's further away from the pedal. It goes in nicely, and I think somewhere I have a proper cable. Give me a second, see if I can find it. Okay, so yeah, that piece is in there. We've routed this bit round the back there. This bit can now fold round here. Or maybe it can do that, I don't know, round like that, round like that, and we can begin to solder these into their places, mark them up, make sure which one. I've got to find the metal plate at the bottom to make certain that will shut down, because it might have to go like that and like that. Anyway, we can trim this to give us a bit of leeway to get it out basically. So that's why I'm next with this, and yeah, I'll edit this up and we'll carry on where we get to next. Okay, thank you for watching, bye bye. So if that goes about there but underneath, I think I'm going to cut it about this knuckle here. It still gives me something if I want to use that cable, and that should be plenty of reach in there. So I'm going to cut it there, where things get tricky for me with different colours. But what I'm doing is basically using the long nose pliers to pull one away at a time. Then I've got to be careful to count them in properly, otherwise, and check the orientation of the 25 whatever, otherwise I'm going to get it badly wrong.